The instruction, everything is following state law, Senate Bill 23290. And it's a class we've been teaching now ever since Prop 122 passed 3.5 years now. The class has really gotten perfected. If people are curious about DMT, if they want to meet a group of people who are both learning and experts, this is probably the best opportunity. We only teach this class a few times a year at most, and went to the retreat space of the best ayahuascarians that I know and that I've encountered through my over a decade of running a retreat center down in Costa Rica. So then we got to learn the real traditional way of doing it, and then we hosted some more kind of modernized like pharmawaska ceremonies that are more just grounded in our own culture, but building on the best practices that are from traditional cultures.
Content presented in Cheshire Corners is for educational and informational purposes only. Please consult a legal professional if you have any questions or concerns about the content of this disclaimer, this series, or the legal implications surrounding psychedelic substances in your jurisdiction.
Yeah, my name's Tony Shawcross. I'm one of the co-founders of the Colorado Psychedelic Practitioners Cohort. It's a group of now over 750 current and aspiring psychedelic practitioners, facilitators, people who really care about psychedelics from the angle of mental health. So yeah, it's a group of some therapists, some psychologists, psychiatrists, some coaches, and some people who are just wanting to help their friends, family, community use psychedelics to benefit mental health in any way that they can, and to kind of maximize and optimize the mental health potential for psychedelics in Colorado, especially the legal psychedelics.
And you've got a class.
Yeah, so April 12th, 2026 here, and the coffee joint's changing its name to what?
Going to be the AlmaDose.
The AlmaDose. Cool. So it's a DMT class here at AlmaDose, former location of the coffee joint, just off like 8th and I-25. So yeah, we'll be doing a class here. The instruction, everything is following state law, Senate Bill 23290. And it's a class we've been teaching now ever since Prop 122 passed 3.5 years now. The class has really gotten perfected. So the best place to register is on Meetup. If you go to meetup.com/psychedelics, that's the meetup group for the Colorado Psychedelic Practitioners Cohort. So again, just meetup.com/psychedelics. You'll see all the events there, but this one in particular, there's a $40 cost for the class. But over the 3-4 years we've been doing this class, I've really kind of honed in that kit. Like I said, the class has really been honed over the last few years, and yeah, I'm excited to bring it here to AlmaDose and do it here.
Is there anything you can kind of tease about the class? Anything unique that people are really going to learn?
DMT itself, I think, has such a high safety profile. You see different studies comparing the amount of harm done both to the person doing the medicine or to anyone in their environment. DMT tends to be up there with mushrooms, LSD, some of the like safest psychedelics there are, the mental health benefits that are there for DMT. And I'm so grateful that we have the laws that we have here in Colorado that make it legal so that people understand the state laws. You have to be at least 21. You can't ever sell it in any way. Luckily, through this class, we've found ways to abide by the law. And yeah, we do have the best laws in the country, and I'm really excited to keep teaching this class.
Colorado is really leading the way. And I think it is a really great opportunity for community in the space as well. When people are learning anything, when you can kind of get together in a group and ask questions.
There are a lot of different ways you can interpret them. And also in the class, we do also make sure people understand the resources that exist. So we learned about a great study that was about buccally absorbed DMT just a couple of years ago. We've done some really great events at the cohort where some people have a lot of trouble with DMT. We've had some really good events. We also did a 5-month-long program last year in 2025 where a little over a dozen people went through training that was the legalities and basics, had 2 of the foremost legal minds in the area help inform us about all the legalities, some of the history, and went to the retreat space of the best ayahuascarians that I know and that I've encountered through my over a decade of running a retreat center down in Costa Rica. So then we got to learn the real traditional way of doing it, and then we hosted some more kind of modernized like pharmawaska ceremonies that are more just grounded in our own culture, but building on the best practices that are from traditional cultures. And then we did a 5-week, 6-week training with Innate Path up in Broomfield of using DMT-assisted psychotherapy training from the trainers at Innate Path. So it was a long process of just kind of learning all the basics and every angle of DMT and the value that it holds for mental health. Still a lot of mystery around DMT. And I should say too, a lot of the interest in DMT is kind of from a very kind of like woo angle. Like a lot of the experts in DMT believe DMT is like a portal to alternate dimensions, and that it actually helps you like enter into other metaverses and dimensions and talk to real beings that are maybe here or maybe in other universes or whatever. I personally don't believe in any of that, but whether you believe in that stuff or not, these classes are really just focused on what is known about the pharmacology, what is known about the chemistry, what is known about the science, and then we leave all that kind of speculation to other people to kind of deal with on their own. But this is just like, here is what is known about the pharmacology, the psychology, whatever. And yeah, in that 5-month training, we also did an extended piece with Ben Malcolm, the spirit pharmacist, who's done some of the best work about understanding exactly what is happening in your body with DMT and what it's doing to those serotonin 2A receptors and also trying to understand where else are the mechanisms of action in your brain. So again, nobody knows even probably half of what is really happening when you use DMT, but we focus on what is known.
That sounds like a plethora of expert information.
Yeah,
that people have access to. At this class.
It'll be a great chance for people to come and see how the space is changing. The new mushroom microdosing license that the space has, and just learn about how the coffee joint is transitioning into AlmaDose. So it's a great resource that we have here in the community. I mean, it's probably the 30th time we've taught the class, but the first time in this venue. And if people haven't already learned about this venue, most people watching this podcast probably have, but people haven't already heard about this venue. It's a great time to come check it out. The class does have a fee. It's a $40 fee for the class. If people are curious about DMT, if they want to meet a group of people who are both learning and experts, this is probably the best opportunity. We only teach this class a few times a year at most. We have to do a screening call for people before, so you can't just show up to class the day of. So I encourage people to check out the Meetup group beforehand, register. You can reach out to Coffee Joint, to AlmaDose, or to us at the cohort on the Meetup page at meetup.com/psychedelics.
Thanks for watching. If you liked it, please like and subscribe to Cheshire Corners. Tell me what you think in the comments. And as always, don't get psyched out.